Even the smallest outdoor spaces can carry the quiet beauty of a countryside retreat when thoughtful details, natural textures, and layered greenery come together. A simple stone pathway, climbing roses, or softly overflowing flower borders can completely reshape the feeling of a home's entrance through every season. In today's video, we'll explore tiny front yard landscaping ideas filled with cottage charm, designed to feel welcoming, timeless, and comfortably lived in. You're watching Rustic and Rooted, where cozy outdoor living and garden inspiration come together in calm and beautiful ways. A narrow stone pathway instantly gives a tiny front yard a sense of direction and rhythm. Irregular flagstones surrounded by creeping thyme, moss, and soft lavender create a relaxed cottage atmosphere without appearing overly designed. Pale gray stone contrasts beautifully with warm greenery, while low flowering borders soften every edge. Even a compact entrance feels inviting when the path gently curves instead of running in a rigid straight line. For smaller homes, keeping the pathway around 3 feet wide helps maintain balanced proportions. Gravel tucked between stones improves drainage and reduces maintenance after heavy rain. Early morning light often catches the uneven stone texture beautifully, while lavender releases a subtle fragrance as visitors walk past. Wooden gates or weathered fencing nearby help the garden feel connected rather than separated into isolated sections. Layered flower borders work especially well in narrow front yards because they create fullness without overcrowding the space. Ground covers such as creeping phlox or alyssum soften the front edge, while mid-height salvia and foxgloves introduce movement and color variation. Taller blooms near the house provide vertical balance and help frame windows or porch columns naturally without hiding architectural details. When planning layered planting, repeating similar flower colors throughout the bed keeps the arrangement calm and cohesive. Cottage gardens often look best with soft whites, muted pinks, dusty blues, and occasional warm yellows. During spring and early summer, bees and butterflies become part of the landscape itself, adding motion and quiet sound that make the front yard feel pleasantly alive in the afternoon sun. short section of white picket fence can define a tiny front garden without making it appear closed off. Instead of surrounding the entire yard, many cottage-style landscapes use fencing only near flower beds or pathways. The painted wood introduces a crisp contrast against loose greenery and flowering plants, especially when paired with soft climbing vines or natural stone edging nearby. For homeowners working with limited budgets, partial fencing is often more affordable and visually lighter than full perimeter designs. Keeping the pickets lower than the surrounding flowers prevents the layout from feeling crowded. Over time, slightly weathered paint can actually complement cottage gardens beautifully, especially beside rustic pathways and densely planted borders filled with lavender, daisies, and ornamental grasses. A small corner herb garden brings texture and practical value to a compact front yard. Rosemary, sage, thyme, and oregano create subtle layers of green while introducing different leaf shapes and surfaces. Gravel or crushed stone between planting sections keeps the area neat and helps Mediterranean-inspired herbs thrive in warmer conditions. Wooden edging adds structure without overpowering the softness of the plants themselves. Moving to maintenance, herbs generally require less watering than flowering borders once established. Placing taller rosemary toward the back prevents smaller herbs from disappearing visually. In warm weather, brushing against thyme or mint releases a fresh herbal scent that drifts gently through the entry area. Even a tiny unused corner can feel productive and carefully considered with this type of planting arrangement. Climbing roses around an entry frame create a strong focal point while using very little ground space. Wooden arches or slim trellises guide the eye upward, helping small cottages appear taller and more established. Soft pink, Cream or pale apricot roses pair naturally with weathered wood and stone pathways, while trailing greenery softens the structure so it blends comfortably into the landscape. Training roses early helps maintain a balanced shape and encourages fuller blooming throughout the season. Good airflow around the vines also reduces mildew problems, particularly in humid climates. By late spring, open blossoms and scattered petals create a gentle romantic atmosphere near the entrance, especially during quiet evenings when the fading sunlight catches the layered flowers against the cottage facade. Gravel pathways are useful in tiny front yards because they adapt easily to irregular layouts. Curved lines feel softer than perfectly straight walkways and leave room for planting pockets filled with cottage flowers or ornamental grasses. Fine gravel in warm beige or muted gray tones works especially well beside rustic homes, blending naturally with stone edging, aged wood, and dense greenery. Next, consider how the path interacts with movement through the yard. Narrow curves slow the pace slightly and encourage attention toward nearby planting details. Gravel also improves drainage and reduces muddy areas during rainy seasons. The quiet crunch beneath footsteps creates a pleasant texture in the landscape, particularly in calm mornings when birds and rustling grasses become more noticeable around the garden. Vintage planters near the entrance provide an easy way to layer greenery close to the home without requiring major landscaping changes. Weathered terracotta, galvanized metal, or aged ceramic containers work beautifully in cottage settings because their worn surfaces complement natural materials nearby. Combining upright plants with trailing ivy or cascading flowers prevents the arrangement from appearing stiff or overly symmetrical. For visual balance, vary planter heights rather than using identical containers on both sides of the doorway. Smaller homes often benefit from grouped arrangements instead of large oversized pots. Seasonal planting also keeps the entrance changing throughout the year. Ferns and lavender suit cooler months nicely, while summer flowers introduce brighter color and softness around stone steps and rustic wooden doors. Low stone edging helps organize cottage gardens while keeping the landscape relaxed and natural. Uneven stones with rough textures blend more comfortably into flower beds than perfectly cut materials. The border visually separates pathways from planting areas, allowing layered flowers and greenery to appear fuller without looking messy. Soft moss or creeping plants between stones can make the edging feel settled into the garden over time. From a practical standpoint, stone borders help contain mulch and reduce soil erosion during heavy rain. Curved edging lines also create smoother transitions between lawn areas and flower beds. In the evening, angled sunlight often highlights the texture of the stone surfaces beautifully, especially beside silver-green foliage or pale flowering plants that reflect softer light near the front of the home. A compact bench tucked into a front garden introduces a quiet destination within a very limited space. Rustic wood benches surrounded by lavender, daisies, or climbing greenery feel especially suited to cottage landscapes because they blend naturally with weathered materials and informal planting. Curved stone paths leading toward the seating area help the layout feel intentional without relying on complicated structures or large decorative elements. When placing a bench, partial shade is often more comfortable than direct afternoon sun. Positioning it near fragrant plants creates a more immersive garden experience throughout spring and summer. Early evenings can feel particularly peaceful here, with soft flower movement, distant bird sounds, and the fading warmth of sunlight filtering through surrounding greenery near the front porch or pathway. Mixed wildflower planting creates a relaxed cottage appearance that works surprisingly well in small front yards. Instead of arranging flowers in strict rows, combining daisies, cornflowers, lavender, and native blooms produces softer movement and natural variation. Different heights and bloom times keep the garden visually active across multiple seasons, while narrow stepping stone paths provide structure through the loose planting style. Finally, choosing hardy flower varieties suited to the local climate reduces watering needs and ongoing maintenance. Wildflower gardens also attract pollinators that help nearby plants thrive throughout the warmer months. Breezes moving through tall stems create shifting textures and subtle motion across the yard, especially during late afternoon when sunlight filters through layered petals and soft ornamental grasses. From winding stone paths and layered flower beds to rustic benches and fragrant herb gardens, these tiny front yard ideas show how even limited spaces can feel lush, balanced, and deeply inviting. Cottage landscaping is not about perfection. It's about creating warmth, softness, and moments that feel connected to nature every time you arrive home. A thoughtfully designed garden can quietly shape daily life, offering comfort, beauty, and calm in simple ways. If these ideas inspired you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your favorite design in the comments below here on Rustic and Rooted.